In college, I knew this girl that absolutely hated me. I don't know what I did to her, but when I sat next to her, she'd look mad enough to bite me. At first, I thought it was all in my head, until I tried to join her group for a game. Join another group, we don't want you here! Well, dang. And fam, that was when I realized the power I had. With a single greeting, I could ruin her day. And from then on, I became the friendliest person in class. Then I started greeting her outside of class. But then it started to get boring. How can I take this farther? So I found out where she lived and befriended all her roommates. So after a long day of avoiding me, she could come home and I could offer her brownies.
Are you ready for a scary story? The Legend of La Llorona. La Llorona is a legend, a figure of the night that terrorizes farmers in Nicaragua. During colonial times in Nicaragua, La Llorona was a young girl living with her mother. The Spaniards put them to work. Her mother always told her Indian blood should never mix with Spaniard blood. One day while she's at the river, she meets a Spanish man and they fall in love. They met at the river many times and she fell pregnant. She asked him to take her back with him to Spain and he said no. He abandoned her, leaving her with a child. She cried so much she fell asleep, and when she woke up, she had a baby in her arms. She was full of spite and anger, and she knew she had to kill the baby. She threw the baby into the river, and she could hear the baby's cries. She instantly regretted it and went to save it, but she couldn't. The baby had drowned and was gone. According to the legend, her spirit comes out at night to terrorize the people of León. La Llorona Part 2. After she threw her baby into the river, she heard its cries and ran back to save it, but it had drowned and disappeared. She walked back to town, but she could still hear the baby's cries. Nothing could bring her comfort. Legend has it she walks the streets wailing and crying for her child, naming her La Llorona. She could still hear her baby's cries for her when it was drowning. It consumed her mind and her body. Even now, people still hear La Llorona outside of their houses, and when they do, they dare not go outside. So the next time you hear wailing and crying outside of your window, outside of your house, don't look, 'cause it just might be La Llorona.